Welcome back. Now we're going to do a drawing or a 3D model of a part that is in 2 dimensions right now, just like an old school 2-dimensional drawing. And this is kind of a 2-step part. There's a flange that is on the bottom and a cylinder that's on the top, and we're going to create those 2 parts independently. And so this is kind of the challenge that we're facing now. And so first thing I'm going to do is to pick a template for a new part, and we are in inches. And if you look at this and we want to determine where to originate the part, I kind of come at that from 2 different angles. Number one, what's the base of the part? And so if you were to look from the bottom of this part as it's oriented, that would be the base view. And so in that case, we'd use the XZ plane to produce the part exactly as you're looking at it. If this part were upright and you were going to install it in a mechanism, you might want to create it in the orientation that it will be used in that mechanism. And so, but basically I'm going to use the XZ and create the part as you're looking at it here. So I'll go ahead and start a sketch, and as I said, I will go ahead and select this XZ plane. And so now we're looking straight down on this part. What I'm going to do now is to create a rectangle. I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and so I'm going to move this over and I'll hover right here on the green, which is going to lock it. And it doesn't really matter what I set this at right now, because what I'm going to do is to dimension this the way that I need it. And so the outer dimension of the bottom flange here is 2.5 inches. And so it will immediately, and I need to back out, it will immediately change it so that you can see it. And so 2.5 inches again, and so now we have our square part. The advantage of using the rectangle tool is that if you look at these different pieces, they're already constrained, and that's very nice. When you use a rectangle tool, you have 90 degrees and then you have equal sides, and so the thing is already locked. The next thing that I want to do is to figure out the position of these holes. And so what I'm going to do is to use a point on those holes. And what I know about this is that it is 3/8 of an inch right here, and 3/8 of an inch in this direction also. So I will simply pick the point, and I'm hovering over the point right now, and I will drop a single point right here. Now it is not constrained, and so we need to constrain it. I'll pull it up here, and actually that one should be, go ahead and place it in that position. And so I'll do 3/8, and I will then take this one and pull it out 3/8, and I'll go ahead and move this dimension so that it is in the proper location and is not interfering with our view. And so that kind of cleans it up. So at this point, what I need to do then is to go ahead and locate this 1/4 inch hole. So let me go ahead and pick up the circle tool, and I will put a 0.25 inch hole right there. Now you could locate every single hole and dimension every hole, or we could use the rectangular tool. And so I'm going to pick this rectangular tool, and I'll pull it in. It showed up on the other screen, and the geometry is selected, and so I'm going to hover over this and I'm going to pick that. So I'm saying, hey computer, do you see that circle? And it says yes by changing a color. And so now I have that circle, and it says, well, what do you want to do with that circle? And it's asking me for the direction to take that circle. Now I'm going to parallel that circle utilizing this horizontal plane, and you can see that it has placed the circle in the wrong direction. So it gives you this cool little flip button, which then sends it to the left, and this is 1.75 inches away. And so now it has been located in that plane. I did hit the enter key, so let me come back. That was actually an error. I'm going to pick this geometry, which it's selected, and I am going to pick the distance or the direction. I need to flip it, and 1.75 is the proper location. And then over here, direction 2. Now I want to take and flip this one. Not flip it, but place it below this set. So we have 2 of them, and we're going to make that 1.75. And so the 2 or the 4 holes are now in the proper position. And of course, you have complete flexibility. You could set this at 3 or whatever you wanted to in order to get the right hole pattern. So in this case, again, it's 2. And so I will click OK. So now we have the holes in the proper location. So at this point, I'm going to do Finish Sketch. And I'll push it back, and I'm going to hit E for Extrude. And I'm going to extrude this surface. And I'm going to extrude it a distance of 3/8. And so now it's correct, and I can hit the check mark. You'll notice that as soon as I hit the check mark or the OK, that all of the sketch data is going to disappear. And that means in Inventor that the sketch has been consumed by the three-dimensional object. And once again, that sketch is still there for you. If you turn that sketch on or go to edit it, you can see right there exactly how that looks. I'll hit that again and you can see it. So anytime that you get a little bit worried about maybe how things look or what's going on, you can come over here and view that sketch again. And so you can see that what we've got right there. So at this point now, I'm going to do the second step of this construction, which is the cylinder. We're going to go ahead and place the cylinder on it. Now we need to center that cylinder, and there are a variety of ways that we could do that. But the first thing we need to do is we need to create a sketch on this surface. So by highlighting this surface, that's actually quite useful. Then we can say, we're saying, let's create a sketch on this surface. So now we can put this where we can work with it. And what we got just a number of ways that we can do this. I can create a line, and then I can make it a construction line. And when it's green, remember, it's in the middle of the line, and I can pull this out, and I can hover in this position, and I can pull that back, and I can put that exactly right. Now I can kind of check that so that if it's at 90 degrees and it's green, I know that I'm exactly in the center of it. So at this point, I can turn off construction mode, and I can put my 2 circles in that I need to extrude. And so my first outer dimension is 1.5, and my inner dimension then, is 1.125, or 1 1/8. So at this point, I've got the 2 features that I need in order to do this. And remember that if I want to move those, I can pull them outside so that they are off of the object. And I can hit Finish Sketch. And then I can hit E for Extrude again. And I want to extrude this surface. Now, you see that it's very sensitive as far as what it is that you're going to extrude. And so if I hover over this and I type 1 inch, or I've got to do this right here, 1 inch, to take that part out, now you can see that that part has been extruded. If you look at the part here, you can see from the dimensions that that hole does not go all the way through. It has a foundation in it, and the foundation is the part base here. So at this point, when I click check, what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and create the 3-dimensional part and consume the drawing. And so now it's all gone. So the only other thing that we have left to do on this part is it says here that it is a 3/8 fillet weld. And so let's go ahead and put that fillet back on. We'll use the fillet tool, and we're going to do a fillet that is 3/8 of an inch and a constant fillet. And I will hover right here. This is where we want the fillet. So it's going to look like a weld. And so it has put that 3/8 inch fillet. Actually, it's 3/16. I erred. So I'm going to change that back to 3/16. and it immediately changes. So I will hit apply, and it is consumed, and I'll close the fillet tool, and voila, we've got the three-dimensional part. Well, I hope that's helpful for you to see how we've moved from a single construction in a single plane to a more complex second construction on a surface that we selected. I hope you're having a great day. See you in the next video.